Imagine being stuck in a world where every love story feels like a fairy tale, but you're not the one living it. This is the reality for Natalie, the main character in Isn't It Romantic? Natalie, played by Rebel Wilson, is a cynical, down-to-earth architect who believes that romance and fairy tale endings are just illusions. She's constantly rolling her eyes at romantic comedies and the idea that life could be anything like the perfect relationships portrayed in movies. But what happens when Natalie is thrown into her own romantic comedy and she's forced to live out the very love story she despises? The film starts with a flashback to Natalie's childhood. Young Natalie is an aspiring architect, and after watching her mother's favourite romantic comedy, Pretty Woman, she becomes disillusioned with the idea of love. She grows up believing that romantic relationships are unrealistic and full of unattainable expectations. As an adult, she's now a successful architect working in New York City, but her love life is non-existent. She's always in the friend zone with her charming co-worker, Blake, played by Liam Hemsworth, who doesn't see her as anything more than a colleague. Meanwhile, she has a crush on her boss, Josh, played by Adam Devine, who doesn't seem to notice her either. One day, after an unfortunate accident in the subway, Natalie wakes up to find herself in an alternate reality, a world where everything is just like the romantic comedies she used to make fun of. From the moment she wakes up, she is surrounded by beautiful people, glitzy settings, and over-the-top romantic gestures. New York City is no longer just the city she lives in. It's a place where everything is picture perfect. There are no bad days, no awkward moments, and most importantly, no grey areas. Everything is perfectly styled, including her wardrobe, and even her reflection is flawless. In this new reality, Natalie is no longer the cynical, underappreciated architect. She's the object of affection of not just one, but two handsome men. Blake, who now sees her as the love of his life, and Josh, who can't stop adoring her. However, there's a catch. As much as Natalie is enjoying this glamorous, idealized version of reality, she's also realizing that she's still not quite happy. In fact, the picture-perfect life she's living feels strangely empty. Every day is filled with extravagant, over-the-top dates and romantic gestures that, while nice, feel artificial. She's constantly surrounded by perfect surroundings, but she's starting to realize that true happiness and love don't come from grand gestures or perfect appearances. Throughout the movie, Natalie tries to navigate this crazy world and figure out what she really wants. She starts to appreciate the value of genuine relationships and realizes that love isn't about perfection. It's about accepting the flaws in ourselves and others. She also learns that her feelings for Josh may not be as strong as she thought, and that true love isn't about finding someone who fits into the fairy tale narrative. It's about finding someone who accepts you for who you truly are. As the story progresses, Natalie begins to make choices that reflect her newfound understanding of love and life. She learns to take risks and be vulnerable, not just in her relationships, but in her personal life as well. She begins to pursue her dreams as an architect in a way that's more true to herself, without trying to conform to societal expectations. In doing so, she starts to unravel the mystery of her perfect world and begins to bring back some reality into her life. The climax of the movie occurs when Natalie realizes that her real happiness comes not from the perfect romantic partner or a picture-perfect life, but from being true to herself and embracing the imperfections of life. She finally confronts her feelings for Josh and Blake, learning that she doesn't need to settle for the fairy tale ending that society expects from her. Instead, she chooses to create her own story, a story that's messy, real, and filled with love and joy, but not in the way she once expected. Isn't It Romantic is a humorous and heartwarming romantic comedy that turns the genre on its head. It plays with the tropes and clichés of romantic comedies, exposing their unrealistic standards while offering a refreshing take on what true love really means. The film is a celebration of self-acceptance, personal growth, and the idea that love is not a perfect fairy tale, but something that requires vulnerability, imperfection, and, most importantly, authenticity. By the end of the movie, Natalie's life is back to its original form, but she's no longer the same person. She has learned to appreciate the real, messy aspects of life, and she no longer expects love to be perfect. She understands that life is full of ups and downs, and it's these moments that make it truly meaningful. So, what do you think of Isn't It Romantic? Do you agree that love isn't as perfect as the movies make it out to be? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Movies Review for more movie insights and reviews.